Exercise 2.3. We need to determine how the transactions in the list are going to affect the assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. Not in the end, because everything in the end kind of affects the owner's equity. So we're just thinking about the types of accounts that are going to be affected by the exact transaction that's happening. All right, so the first one says we paid $2,100 for utilities. All right, so utilities is an expense, and expenses and revenue fall under owner's equity directly. So owner's equity, in fact, would decrease, and we paid with cash, so our assets would decrease. So we would have a decrease and a decrease, a minus sign. The second one says that we performed services for $10,500 on account. So our business, it didn't really say what our business is, but if we perform services, think of that as we are a plumbing company, or we are a trainer. We did our job for our client and they owe us money. Okay, so we performed services for $10,000 on account, meaning they did not pay immediately. They're going to pay us inside of 30 days. All right, so we increased our asset we performed our services. So we increased our asset because although they did not pay us, they are going to pay us, and that counts as an asset, accounts receivable. And I like to think of accounts receivable as kind of the same as cash in a way. I know you don't have the money in your pocket yet, but you're going to have it soon. So treat payments or services on account as an asset. And then the revenue is the other account that is affected, and that falls under owner's equity, and that is increased. Okay, sorry. All right, number 3, we received $6,500 from charge account customers. So like in number 2, the customer didn't pay, they charged, and in number 3, we're getting a payment from our charge customer. So in this case, we are increasing our cash and we are decreasing accounts receivable, and accounts receivable is an asset. So in this case, both of the actions are in assets. So here we've worked with cash in assets and accounts receivable in the assets. Okay, and here we worked with expense and revenue. Always, it's fine to take notes on your homework problems. That helps you learn, and it's fine with me. The more I see writing on your homework problems, the more I know you're trying to study and get it. Okay, number 4, we paid salaries of $4,500 to employees. We paid cash, so that's always the easy one. I like to always start with cash because you're going to usually, or not usually, but a lot of times work on both sides of the equal sign. So if we paid cash to our salaries, then our salaries would be an expense, payroll expense, so that would also decrease. So we're hopping the equal sign so we can have 2 minuses. Okay, number 5, we paid $8,000 to a creditor on account. Okay, so we paid $8,000. That's easy. We are spending money, so that's a minus sign in cash. A creditor is someone to whom we owe money. For example, let's go back to the service of a plumber. Perhaps the plumber needed to order supplies, and they ordered 4 hot water heaters to have in their supply closet so they could use those when somebody called. So they ordered those from a different company. We're in Southwest Wyoming, so let's say they bought those hot water heaters from Home Depot, and they did not pay cash when they bought them. They are going to pay on account. And so we are going to be increasing our liability. Let's see, what number are we on? 6. I'm sorry, we're going to be decreasing our liability. I'm looking at 2 different lines here. We're going to be decreasing our cash, and we're going to be decreasing our liability because we have paid $8,000 to Home Depot. Okay. Number 6. The owner invested $90,000 in the business. This one's like fundamental. That would give us $90,000 of cash, and it would increase our owner's equity by $90,000. Number 7, we purchased $26,700 of supplies on account. Again, it's the plumber example. This time, $26,000. Let's say they ordered a brand new furnace, maybe 4 furnaces for 4 units of an apartment complex. Okay, and you, the plumber, have to buy them, and then you're going to charge that onto your customer eventually, right? So purchase $26,000 worth of supplies. A supply is an asset, something that you can sell. And we did not pay cash for that. We increased what we owe, so we're increasing our liability on that one. Number 8, we purchased equipment for $21,000 in cash. So we know we paid cash, so we're subtracting cash, but we purchased equipment, and equipment is an asset. So our plus and minus goes in the same category for number 8. Number 9, we paid $6,000 for rent in advance. So we know we paid money out. Now, the key word here is rent in advance. So normally, if it was the end of the month and we were paying our rent, then that would just be an expense. Or if we were paying 1 month at a time, that would be an expense. And we would put the minus sign over under owner's equity. But in fact, we're paying it in advance. So we're paying $6,000. Maybe that is 6 months of rent, $1,000 a month. We're paying it up front so that we have that money saved, and then each month we will take out what the monthly rent was and expense it, if you've heard that term before. So in this case, number 9, we paid the $6,000, but we paid it in advance. That is